That's late. Kyle, how? This always happens.
uh,
I mean, I was waiting for that call too, so I'll get back to him later. Kyle, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
Not too bad. And we are waiting for. Hi, Alex. We're waiting for Andy VA3CW to join us, but we can get started without him. He was having a few technical glitches. I think he was using a laptop on Wi-Fi. So let's bring him in. And I bet you he was going to. I know it's going to happen. He was going to go to his work computer, and he was probably locked out. So, hey, Andy, how are you? We're actually live on the air, so don't say anything wrong. And I guess the work computer part didn't work out too well.
Oh, I gave up on the work computer part. The the desktop for some reason needed a double restart.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure it was a push update that I really didn't want, but I'm
All
here.
right. Okay, thanks. So, what we're going to talk about today is Kyle did a little bit of work in NodeRed. Okay, I don't think he slept for about a week, and it came up with this big user interface for N1MM and the console on health and whatever's going on with a whole bunch of different things. So I'm going to let Kyle talk about that. A little bit of a commercial, by the way. If you happen to be watching this anytime around now, we actually have stock of inventory, radios and amplifiers and things. No, Maestros are still delayed. I apologize. The story continues to be the same. And believe me, it's as frustrating for us as it is for everybody else. And Tuner Geniuses have a little hiccup here and there, but they're going as fast as we can. So without any further ado, Kyle, tell me what you created. And then I'm sure you've got a screen or two to share at some point in time.
Yeah. So I like to contest, and I'm sure there's a lot of people viewing this that like to contest. And one of the things that you don't get whenever you are contesting, especially in a multi-multi or a multi-single or a multi-two, is how you're doing as a group, right? So when I go down to my contest station, there's a radio room, and all the other guys, gals are hanging out like in the kitchen and the living room, and we have to go hover over the operators to figure out how we're doing in the contest. So I'm like, why can't I like devise something, program something in NodeRed that takes some of the information out of N1MM and brings it into some type of dashboard? Because N1MM, you can set it up for UDP broadcast, for score and radio information and QSOs. So I'm like, why don't I just do a simple dashboard and bring some information in and have it displayed there in a common area, and people can take a look at how we're doing in the contest. And then it got, it started out as an idea, then it became a reality on this single screen dashboard, and now it has grown into like this five screen thing that takes some stats and puts some stuff into a database and does a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, do you want me to show it off here and take a
Okay.
look at it?
And just to bring everybody up to speed, of course, you and I, Andy, know what NodeRed is, but
Yes.
what's NodeRed?
Yeah. So,
And why did you use it?
yeah, so NodeRed was invented by IBM back I think 2013 or so, and it was for connecting machines to other machines, and it was for Internet of Thing devices. Well, it grew and grew and grew, and I can't remember who. Well, Mike told me about it. I don't know who actually decided that. Oh, we could probably integrate NodeRed into the Ham Shack. So a group of people started programming some things, and then you guys created the groups IO for ham radio, and that's kind of where everything lives. But now we are able to take this NodeRed programming language, which is basically takes building blocks and puts them together, and you don't have to be a programmer to get started in NodeRed. It's very basic. I didn't know any programming, and I was able to program what I'm going to be able to or show you. So you can program different dashboards, and there's already um, flows available for you to install today for devices that exist in the world and be able to have a dashboard and a command and control interface for all of your devices in your ham shack. And we've kind of migrated from the Internet of Things to the ham radio of things for this program.
There were two people that was Andreas N6NU out of California that sort of got me going. But he was the second person. I sort of knew it existed, but I had no clue what it did. And when I started doing my remote stuff early on, was using remote QTH server out of Europe. And they sent it, their image for remote QTH server had NodeRed up and running in it and a little sample. But I didn't know what I was looking at. And then Andreas was N6NU was the aha moment going, he says, well, here, look what I'm doing with the stepper. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
And anyway, Andy, anything you want to add?
I mean, what Kyle's done here is incredible, as you'll see in a couple of moments. And I think one of the things that kind of stands out about this, Mike, is we've looked at this, you and I, NodeRed, as really being something for controlling something. So whether it be a rotor, power supply, a flex, our focus has been rather hardware centric. But what Kyle has done here takes this to, in my view, the next level. So now we're taking an amateur radio application and getting something more out of it. And the hooks are there. ADIF is there. NodeRed is there. UDP broadcasts are there. All the bits and pieces are there. Kyle's put this together. I think that's really cool. And I think by the end of our brief conversation this afternoon, we'll have a few more thoughts about how we can grow this. And I'm sure there'll be some folks who are joining us this afternoon that have some interesting perspectives to add as well.
So Kyle, why don't you explain I'm sure you got a screen to share, so pull that up and I'll get it up here as well.
Okay.
But you've got to have to want to try something to do this, but you don't need to be a guru to do it. And you know what? You're going to break it and you're going to learn something and then you're going to get it going. And then you're going to have this aha moment and go, I did that. Heck, I'm still gaga over my own stupid little
Mike's sage advice all the time. Don't worry. Go ahead and break it.
Right.
That's how we learn stuff. All right, Kyle, I'm going to bring it up here. Let's see. There we go.
Yeah, so let me go full screen here. Let me see if I can go full screen. Yeah, here we go. So this is the main dashboard here. So you can see there's quite a bit going on. And whenever I envisioned the multi-screen aspect of this, I work at a hospital and we've got a bunch of dashboards that we use for patient information. It doesn't have any HIPAA or patient information, but it's just a dashboard, and one stays static and the next one rotates through a bunch of different screens. So this was what I had in my head. So this is the main screen, and what you're looking at here is over on the left hand side you've got a last QSO section where it gives and I'm running a simulation here, so you're going to see things pop up as I took this off of Whiskey Victor 4 Papas ready roundup. So on the left-hand side, you've got last run QSOs and a count up counter to see when the last run QSO was, and it's going to populate in there if there's a last run. You got a last search and pounce with a count up counter, a last multi QSO, and then there's a configuration or a status of the last the top operator that has got the most multis in the contest. So you can see that it's WV4P.
No competition implied there, right?
No, well, we're going to get into that. There's even more competition built into this. So on the top there, you can see the last QSO or the last logged QSO. So you've got a QSO W3UG or a K3UG that's white right now, and tells the band, the mode, the exchange, and the op that just logged that QSO. If it's a multiplier, it turns red. and it also tells you that it's a multiplier. So there's some sound integration on this to say new multiplier from WV4P. So it'll announce when a new multiplier, you kind of get away from the bell. You know, everyone knows the bell whenever you get a new multiplier. You ring the bell. Well, this is going to announce that you got a new multiplier. In the middle there is a map of all the QSOs being logged, and you can adjust this on the time to live. You can come in here and show a different map if you want. You can see the gray line. You can see some weather. There's a bunch of other things that you can customize on this map, but yeah, you can. It just maps all of the QSOs. There is a backend. You can log into QRZ and get the XML lookup data, and it will automatically look up the information. Or you can use HamDB, which is free service. They are adding more and more countries every single day, but mainly they've got just North America, and I think they've got some European countries for lookup. Down below, well, let's keep going over to the right-hand side.
I'm never showing my screen again.
So over here is the total score on the contest, right? Number of QSOs, number of mults, number of points. Here is the current QSO rate, right? So it accumulates, if you've got multi-multi going on, it accumulates the number of hourly QSOs. So it looks like they're at 68 Qs per hour. And then down here, just a little bit more top op score. WV4P has got the top score right now, so it puts some competition in play there. And then on the far right side, just has some bar graphs, right? QSOs by band, QSO rate by band, so this is per hour, so you can see what the hourly rate is for all of your bands. Then you got a total QSO rate chart for the 1 hour, so it's going to graph over time the QSO rate for everyone. Down here in the spots rate, you can start the skimmer, and it will basically show you how many spots.
You were looking for that, Mike. I know you were.
Yep.
Oh, no.
It shows you how many spots are coming into the skimmer, and that will be some type of indication on, wait a minute, there's a lot of spots on 80. Maybe I'm on the wrong band. So
Kyle, a couple of things while we're here.
Yeah.
Just maybe the more obvious question. You've used N1MM here.
Right.
You didn't need to customize anything in N1MM. That data is already there to be used.
It's already here. It's already there. I didn't have to do one bit of information. Now, I did have to put a lot of this stuff into a database and do a bunch of SQL calls, but I've already done that work for you. Yep.
No customization required to N1MM.
No.
I love this. I love this skimmer. I love the idea of pulling the spots off. Mike, the obvious next question here is, oh, wait a minute. What have we got that'll do this where we can pick this off what we hear versus the spots?
Right.
Well, that's next phase. But credit to the crew at N1MM as well for making this available and broadcasting out on UDP broadcasts, which is one of your questions. We'll keep asking questions. We'll come back to them and I'll post them. But, just to their credit, which they did forever ago, Tom and his crew had this vision in mind too.
Yep. So then down at the bottom there, I just started a simulation. That is going to take radio 1 data and radio 2 data based on a configuration that you're going to do later in the screens. That's going to tell you where your radios are at and track that information. So at one glance, you can see radio 1 is on single or USB 14.308. He's in search and pounce. The operator is WV4P, and he's got a QSO rate of 48 Qs per hour. And then radio 2 is WW4LL. He's on upper sideband. He's on 15 meters. He's in the status of run, and then he's got a QSO rate of 29. So it can give you just an overview of what's going on. So that's the main screen. Should we
But
go to
wait,
the
there's
other
more?
screens? Oh,
But
there's
wait,
more.
There's more.
There's more. All right. So this spectator dashboard, I'm not done with it yet. It's in a mode that needs to be worked on. But in my head, my vision is this is the screen that you would stream to Twitch, to Facebook, to YouTube, to all of the locations that you want to get people interested in contesting, but not show any contest data or sensitive data that would get you disqualified. So I'm still working on this screen, and I'm hopeful that this screen would convey like what QSO or what station you're trying to log, what the purpose of the contest is, what contest you're working. So if I was, scrolling around on Twitch or YouTube and I saw this live, I'd have a pretty good idea on what the person streaming was trying to do and trying to convey. So that's
Have you showed this to Ward yet?
Yeah.
So
He
Ward
is.
Silver did a presentation. Geez, it's 3 years ago now, right? When I was
Yeah.
with you at dinner
Yep.
about the gamification of ham radio, and he was dead nuts serious, and he was fun to watch. You made him drool, I'll bet.
Yeah. I brought this down to the contest station, and he was just like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" So this is all the radio information correlated into one screen. So you can see all the radio info, the modes, the frequency, the statuses, the QSO rates for the op that's on the radio, plus the QSO rates for the band that they are on. And then over here on the right-hand side, it just graphs by band, what's going on for the rates that we're working on.
Can I interrupt you there?
Sure.
Sort of a NodeRed thing. You're looking at these graphs and go, how the heck am I going to program those graphs and make them look like that? It's a single block drop in. You just put it in line and you say what the range is, or you can even go automatic. You don't have to do that. You don't have to figure out how to do it. It's done for you in NodeRed.
Yeah.
It's done. And if you don't like graphs and you like idiot lights, you like gauges, you like bar graphs, it's all there. And so easy to configure and so easy to change.
Yep. So this is the operator competition screen here.
No.
So this pins the operators against one another inside your contest, right? So here it puts all of the ops in a first place, second place, third place, and you can sort this by score, by QSO, by mults, whatever you want. And, it gives a 1 hour run rate or 2 hour run rate. And then it kind of gives like a trending of how these guys are doing. So, like if I'm in third place and I've got green arrows and the guy in second place has got red arrows of everything pointing downward, you know what? That's going to drive my butt to be in the chair longer, so I can maybe grab second place. So
how do you figure out busted calls?
that is if they are in QRZ or not.
Oh, okay. In QRZ, not even super check partial.
No, QRZ. If it's in QRZ, then it's probably a good call. If it's not in QRZ, then chances are it might be a busted call.
And that's okay. I know, obviously, you're running assisted at this point in most contests I know, but interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So then it just has some over here on the right-hand side. It's got the operators 1 hour queues per hour, 2 hour queues per hour, operator QSOs. So it just shows the number of QSOs and then the scores that operator's just grafting over time. So this could be a good competition on, the top op at the end of the 48-hour contest, gets a candy bar. Who knows? This next screen is by band, so it breaks the contest up by band. Looks like it's not updating here the spot rate per band. I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, it just breaks it up by band, and then also gives a graph over time on the top here on what the queues look like over the course of time. And then let's see what else. Here is
RBN.
the RBN spots. So this is not spotting you. This is spotting who is spotting you. So you can start the skimmer, and you're going to call CQ, right? And I'm going to want to know where I'm being spotted, or I'm sorry, the who is spotting me on the RBN, not where I'm being spotted at. So if that makes any sense, I think that was incorrect. I want to know
who's hearing me.
Who's hearing me? Right,
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Mike. So this is going to take the DE from those skimmer spots, and it's going to plot this on a map. So, if I'm coming in here and I call CQ, and all of my spots are towards the northeast, and my beam is pointed southwest, well, guess what? I should probably turn my beam northeast.
Yeah, don't fight it uphill. By the way, RBN is the reverse beacon network. If you're not aware of it, it is a great tool for many things. In a simple world or an easy world, is you put up a new antenna and you want to know how well it's radiating, you can go call CQ in CW, and you can see who's hearing you. That's quick story on reverse beacon network, but that's probably the most powerful tool there from an RBN perspective, because I've never fully leveraged it. But then again, my CW is not good enough to run. But now I want to be at some multi-station just to watch this live.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
I think what's neat about this is now you're getting multiple sources of data, and you can start to make some intelligent decisions about antenna direction, band strategy. You could layer on this, I suppose, Kyle. We use Slice Master. We put CW skimmer in, and we start to look at entire bands or segments of bands, understanding what we can hear that we might not yet be operating, in addition to what others have heard, and that data coming from RBN or from spots. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. So let me get on CW here, and let me just go to 40 meters, and let me just send out real quick CQ, A0Z, A0Z, K. And let me just send out a real quick, am I on the right antenna? I am. So let me send this out.
Yeah, first person to copy this gets the candy bar that Kyle was referring to earlier.
So here we go. Hopefully this is going to work, and we're going to see this live in action. So I just sent that out.
So this is live RBN or skimmer spots coming in.
Yep. Here we go. There it is.
Friggin' believable.
And there's where I was spotted.
Because normally I would run skimmer, and then I would go do a skimmer report, and then I'd have to go figure out where all those guys are and go, now I've got to run this just to see if my 2-element wire beam, I run it, I call CQ, see who reports me at what, change direction, move a kilohertz, and do it again, right?
Yep. So now, what you want to do is you want to connect to a skimmer that shows all the dupes, right? You don't want to connect to a skimmer that filters out all those dupes, because you want to hear what stations are hearing you, right?
Right.
Yep.
How many hours have you got in this, Kyle?
Mike, I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. So then the last screen, or the second to last screen, is just a Pi status. Everyone.
Oh, I know that screen.
Yep,
everyone pretty much comes with it.
Yeah, they should ship this default with NodeRed, right?
That's a fact. And you know what? If you're new to NodeRed, this is going to be the first dashboard you build. It'll be the easiest example to find, and you know what? You'll feel like you've accomplished something for the night.
Yeah.
You know what I've had to do is, and I haven't done it yet, I really need to do it because my Pi is remote. If you go back to the dashboard for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Where it says shut down, I really need to take that button out of there, because if I shut down my Pi at the cottage, at the remote station, I don't have any way to toggle the 5-volt line to bring it back up.
Yeah.
So I've just, one of these days, I'm going to hit it by accident and go, time to get in the car.
Mike, I have been there where I've shut down stuff at the contest station that I wasn't supposed to shut down, and an hour and a half later, it's a manual flip of the switch.
Yes.
Yours is
It's one
probably
thing I
a longer drive.
It's an hour and a half each way. It's the first thing I teach in remoting. Go, what do I need to do? Because this is a common call we get. Is I said, look at any button you push at when you operate, and how are you going to be able to push it if you're not sitting there?
Right.
And that gets people thinking.
Yep.
You ready for some questions, or is there more?
One more screen. So this is the configuration screen where you can configure everything about the dashboard. So you can see here you've got the cluster with dupes, cluster without dupes. Here's where you input the radio names. I'm going to try and automate this, but this is where it's grabbing the radio information off of the XML data. So all you need to know is the radio names, the host names that your radios are connected to for the computers. And so then puts the radio names in some variables. Here's the home lat and longitude. So if I come back over to the screen here, you'll see that there's a home down there. You can barely see it, but that basically draws your great circle lines on your map. So you want to put that in. You've got a cluster login call sign. So maybe you log into the cluster with a different call sign. You've got the time to live icons on the map set to 600 seconds. Contest type is, there's a lot of different contests out there. This is the, you can choose what you receive for your exchange.
Serial number. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a state, a county and state, maybe that's a QSO, your ARL or RAC section, a grid, a zone, power. So that's what you receive. Here's your say multi on and off. So if it gets annoying at the beginning of the contest, you can turn that on and off. Contest call sign. So this is for the reverse beacon network. You can toggle the map labels on and off on the map, or you can change it to whatever you want it to say, ban or mode, or only mode only. Here's the op competition sort by. If you want to sort by multis or QSOs or score, you can change that. Here's your queues per hour rate color config. So you can come in here and say, I want everything under 30 to be red, and I want everything over 120 to be green, and everything in the middle is going to be yellow, color-coded for all of the QSO rates, and you can submit that. And that's for both the hour rate and the 2-hour rate. So you want to go in there. Because, if you got 4 people on the radio, obviously your QSO rate's going to be higher, so you can configure that, per what you think goals that you want to hit for your contest station. Over here, you can delete all the QSOs out of the database, so you'll do that before you start each contest. Here's the lookup for the database engine, so you can do HamDB or QRZ, and then if you have QRZ, this is where you put your username and password in.
You'll need an XML license for that, right?
Right. I think it's like $35 a year or something.
It's not a lot of money.
Right. Go ahead and do it.
Cheap.
And that's it. That is. Let's see if here's the spot rate that's that you're interested in here. And then after this, you know what? The next thing I probably need to do is I think I've got this hard coded on the spot rate. I need to make that a variable and be able to configure that on what your spot rate is on if it turns green, yellow, or red, yellow, or green. That's it.
Wow. Okay, so your next slide you have to bring up, and I'll pull this off for you.
Yeah. What are the questions out there?
Oh, there's a bunch. Hey, I'll pop them up. You can. First off, where do I get it?
Yeah.
And so you'll need that. And then actually, it's on GitHub, and if you just send your request to Kyle on the back of $100 bill, he'd be happy to provide that information.
I don't do anything less for $500 now.
Yeah, I got to that point too.
Mike,
Still never got paid, but
it's probably a good time now, if you can, to pop up the groups.io address. You'll want to join that. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, so you can search under my call sign on GitHub, or I think if you type in N1MM NodeRed Dashboard GitHub in Google, it should pop up. It's a public public repository. So, and then I've done some
His
some
documentation is impeccable.
yeah. So I've gone
It
through
really
here
is.
and thought about, if I was a new user and didn't know a lot about NodeRed or computers or whatnot, how would I get this up and running? And these are the things that keep me up at night on how, I put hey, I don't know a lot of stuff about computers, but I want to run this. How do I do this? So I've put some time and effort into the documentation.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We let's go back to this screen. Okay, let's hit some questions here. Hi, Kyle. I'll just put up. Scott has a bunch of comments, but
Hi, Scott.
and then here we go.
Are you looking at their TRN file or both? No, I'm not really sure what a TRN file is.
It might be their transaction log file.
Oh, no. So the way that I'm doing this is I'm sending the QSOs, the logged QSOs, to a database that runs on the Raspberry Pi and doing all of the calculations there.
And that's a good question. There's a lot of work going on here. Are you using a 3 or a 4?
I'm using a 4, Pi
which
4.
would probably be recommended.
Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah.
matter because you can't get either right now anyway.
Right.
I pulled this out because somebody asked me in QSO today. I got a Pi 3 right here. I saw them on Amazon for $2.99.
Oh my gosh.
They're unobtainium right now.
Jesus.
Anyway, but you can run this on Windows or pretty much any Linux computer as well. So
Correct. If you can get so I'm going to adapt this to DXLogger or DXLog or DXWrite. What is it? What is the other contest? Is it DXLog? The other big contest
right,
software. Anyway.
Not WriteLog.
Yeah, WriteLog. Yeah.
WriteLog, and there's a third one too.
Yeah, there's a third one.
And
So I'm gonna
RumLog.
Yep. So I'm gonna adapt this to DXLog or WriteLog. Because they've got some UDP information that you can grab out of that. Going to try and adapt it to N3 FJP, but if you have other big ones, like, I could take a look at RumLog or TR4W. I don't even know anything about TR4W. If we can get UDP information or something out of that corresponds with the things that N1MM sends out, we could adapt it. So,
okay. Here's another one from Tom. I think we sort of answered that, right?
Dale K9NN asking about whether he could host this on a Windows PC at Field Day.
yes.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Hang on. You're way ahead of your time.
Yeah.
I'm working down the list.
I
see the spot rate is coming from N1 available multi, or is it coming from the Telnet window?
Telnet. Coming from, so I connect to the skimmer's Telnet directly. None of that information comes out of, or I can't figure out how to get it out of N1MM because they don't broadcast that information. If you take a look at Google, or you go to the Google machine and you type in N1MM UDP broadcasts, there's documentation on what you can get out of N1MM and what you can't.
N1M's documentation is amazing.
Yeah.
And I know many people contribute to it, but Rich V3KI, thank you for Rich for retiring, seems to spend a lot of time on it. He lives in Ottawa, and a very nice guy. Field Day's the obvious one from Tom. Less issues showing where you are, plus the new ARRL contest category that allows streaming and not worrying about showing your frequency or self-spotting. We're headed down the live on the air. It's advertising for us. It gets people on the air. I don't have time if I was running to even look and see, what's in streaming it everywhere else. And if I do, I might see one person run.
Yep.
So I think that's a good idea. Here, I like this one.
This brings a whole never dimension to what's in your the problem with, So they created the unlimited category that basically allows you, and this is only an ARRL contest, right? Allows you to do everything. But what if I don't want to? I want to stream, but I don't want to be unlimited. You know, it's just an avenue. You don't have to use it. Just send it out there.
Okay, and we answered this for Travis, so it's on GitHub.
GitHub. Just go to my call sign. Go to GitHub and type in my call sign AA0Z.
There you go, Kyle.
At our field day activity, we have an extra PCs running Windows 10. How difficult would it be to run this app on a PC? I assume that to have at least SQLite 3 on the PC. Correct. Yeah. So SQLite, probably need to install Git to get the program down, but you could load the flow directly, and NodeRed. That's all you need. That's all you need. There's no other extra stuff.
Right, and from a NodeRed perspective too, don't let it scare you. Don't let Linux scare you. I think we have a complete image, right, Dave, on the groups.io. Just you can download, burn an SD card, and it'll come up with NodeRed installed. But even if you don't want to do that, or you already have some sort of Linux machine, if you back to Google and how do I install NodeRed in Linux, there's a beautiful page. You copy in this script and let it go to town.
Yeah.
Which has never let me down.
Yeah, if you have any trouble getting NodeRed on your system, go over and join the Ham Radio NodeRed Groups.io, and people will ask your question over there. There's not a dumb question. Go over there and ask it, and we'll try and figure it out.
I think Dave's. We should have brought Dave in too, but I'm trying to find the link because Dave posted it in here somewhere. I'll put it back up there.
Oh, for the Groups.io?
Yeah, I just rolled off the bottom. But anyway, it's easy to find. Just go to groups.io and search for NodeRed. I looked the other day. It's the only thing to do with NodeRed there.
Yeah.
We may want to look at the astronomy. Maybe we're way ahead of them because they're using NodeRed for a lot of their automation as well now.
That'd be cool.
Okay, they work a little slower, but they...
There he goes. Dave just put it up there.
Did he? So... You can just type that in.
NodeRed can be used for anything that you can get information out of, right? The world is your oyster.
Well, I should, since we're just any other questions, we're happy to have them. I'm just going to try to bring up another slide on, so I'm not looking at the editing screen, but just a second. I'll go to nodered.org, and I'm going to drag this over here, and we'll show this. This is a screen. They've added more features. If you've never seen it, this is the main. Great documentation, easy to read, but there's this thing here, and they have their own forums. They have this thing here called flows. And let's just say you wanted to get started. What was the first one we all put on? Raspberry Pi dashboard?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Board. It's probably not going to come up. Maybe it's just Raspberry Pi. But it's one of the first ones I found. And see, Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
They have all these flows that make it, let's go back to the beginning, that do different things. So there's, what was I looking for? A lot of it is Internet of Things. There was, weather's always a good because there's a ton of weather stuff.
Yeah, I do like open weather maps or something.
Freezing warnings.
Yeah.
And so you can add all this little cool geeky stuff that you might need that is important to you. Open weather dashboard flow. And the advantage of the NodeRed product, by the way, is and you've probably heard us say this many times before, is it's easy to follow a flow and to see what it's doing, type of thing. And if you look at Kyle's source code, it all comes with it. So you can say, hey, I don't like that little graphic there. You can go find that page and just edit it.
Yeah, one thing that I've tried to do is name my tabs accordingly, and put some comments in the documentation. So if you don't like what I've done, guess what? the code is yours. You can do whatever you want to it and modify it until your heart's content, and you won't make me angry. But keep in mind, if I do an update and you pull down the latest, it's going to erase what you've done. So keep that in mind.
Perfect. And this is a community thing, and although Kyle's done all this work himself, there are parts you may like. The user group, which I created, I stress that this will be a help group. And if anybody ever slams you, well, it's in the manual, you can challenge them on it, right? I'm the type that says, yeah, read this page. I won't retype something if it's already there. I'm not going to say if somebody's
Right.
already said it better type of thing. But we're there to help. I've seen many people go way and above, from yourself, from Dave to Alan Blind, I've been too busy I'm so behind this group now, I'll never catch up, but, it's just blown away. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Where do you find the time? He has no life.
I don't. I dedicate my time and my daily grind to ham radio.
And do you have a regular podcast as well?
I don't. No, I don't.
You're random?
I'm just a random dude with a radio. I mean, I have my YouTube channel. I mean, you can go to my YouTube channel, and I do NodeRed stuff. I guess I should plug that. If I'm kind of doing a series on NodeRed on getting people up to speed and bringing them up to a level where they can load flows and do some tinkering. So if you go to my YouTube channel, just type AA0Z into the tube of view, you'll find my channel, and I got a playlist, and you can start from the very first video on what is a Raspberry Pi. So, yeah, I'm gonna do some trivia. I do trivia once a month.
Yeah, I think I got suckered into that.
Well, you got suckered into something else. I just do trivia normally on Friday, but we're doing a special thing on Saturday that is going to be released to the world. So we can't.
Is that the something else?
Yeah, that's the something else. We can't.
Okay.
We can't release that yet, but it's gonna be awesome.
Very good. Well, Kyle, thanks for taking the time, and
Well, thank you for letting me come on here. It's every time I come on the old Flex Radio YouTube and Facebook page, I feel privileged.
well, thanks. And two things I want to say. First off, NodeRed will work. There are ways to make it work with just about any piece of hardware. The Flex, it just fell into the Flex world because the Flex Radio is an Ethernet connection to it, but certainly not limited to. And I've written a couple of flows to get people. I did a couple of prototypes in my ICOM 9700 because it only had one push to talk line, and I wanted 3 relays. So if I was on an amp on 2 meters 440 or 1.2 gig, only the right push to talk line is there, and that's good foundation to if you want it to work on a 7300 and stuff. And I can't remember who gave me the clue to use HamLib as the underlying layer. So the nice thing about that, if you start writing flows that work on that basic flow, they'll work on pretty much any other radio out there that HamLib supports. I know that might sound a little complicated, but you'll have that aha moment. And again, the last Flex Radio commercials, we actually, my marketing team says, don't forget to remind everybody, we take trade-ins. I've got radios in stock, and I've got amplifiers in stock, and Maestros will be delayed, and tuners are shipping as fast as we get them. Andy, anything you want to add?
I don't think I can add anything more. I think it's summed up quite nicely by Don. Knowledgeable random dude. For a guy that does random podcasts, there's a pretty knowledgeable fellow. Kyle, thanks for sharing that with us today. I'm pretty excited by what I've seen. I'm going to give it a try. I've got some ideas. I'm going to bend Mike's ear over a cup of coffee early tomorrow morning. We'll be back to you with some thoughts, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Nice try.
and that goes to anybody that is watching this and loads the flows. If you've got a better way of or things that you want to see on this dashboard, please let me know. Put them in the groups IO. Send me an email. I'm good on QRZ. Let me know, because I'm just a young pup in this contesting world compared to like Ward that's been doing this for 40 years. I don't know what I'm doing yet, right? I'm still young. I've had my license since '95, but I'm still a young pup in the whole grand scheme of things. So I need some direction.
Yeah, I can see guys like K3LR, W3LPL, V3J.
Yep.
Just, those are the local ones to me that would just love to do this. And you could have a Pi and another monitor in the kitchen, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so. All right, and Scott should be able to quickly search for it. It's on GitHub.
Yep.
So if not, drop Kyle or I an email. We'll get it to you. 73, everybody. Or I'll put a link in the YouTube part of this broadcast too when it finally finishes uploading. We're gonna hit the end button. Thanks for taking the time to join us. That went a little longer than I thought, but good DX. 6 meters are
73.
starting to open. We've seen some cool
Nice.
6 meter stuff. So 73.
Later.
Later.